Okay, I think it says we're live, so let's give
Yeah.
it a quick second to refresh. You see it on there?
I can't see it on the page yet.
Okay.
Let me wait for my notification to come up, and then we could probably tell, won't we? There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the notifications come up. It's all good.
All right, great, awesome. Okay, hey guys, Tiffany Higgins here, and I've got with me Lisa. And
Hi.
yeah, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi. Yeah. This is me. I'm not in the group much, but yeah, this is me, and I'll be in the group a lot more sort of from now on, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lisa is our UK specific coach. So this live is really going to be dedicated to not only sharing with you guys about how you can transform your life by starting a bookkeeping business, but specifically if you live in the UK, you can also follow in the footsteps of myself. Lisa actually also had a bookkeeping business at one time. So we're excited to dive into that. And yeah, if you guys tune in and you're watching this and you've got questions, we love for this to be interactive. So make sure you guys comment below and ask us questions so we can, go into detail on specifically what you are looking for and what's, holding you back from jumping right in and doing this, especially if you are in the UK. So Lisa, do you want to take a few minutes and explain a little bit about your background and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yep, sure. Just to say, I can see people saying hi. So hello, everyone. Hi, Nick. Hi, Sally. Right. Okay. So yeah, I started off. I'm just going to close my Facebook tab quickly because I can see a delay there. So I started off going self-employed, or good sort of 5 or 6 years ago. I was in the admin world, really strong in admin all my life. Used to be a bookkeeper many, many years ago, and I felt undervalued. I felt I wasn't getting paid enough. There was people above me, above my pay grade that I was doing way too much work for. And I think that was the main reason. I wanted to realise my worth, fulfil my potential. So took on the admin. I'd done the AAT qualifications up to level 3, basically because that was the level I needed in order to get the licenses I wanted to get. Like I say, you don't have to do the AAT exams, but that's the level I wanted to get at. And quickly just threw myself into networking, and everybody needs a bookkeeper. Everybody, particularly when you're networking, needs a bookkeeper. And yeah, I run my bookkeeping business. It went really, really well. And then I sort of moved more into the business coaching because I think I made every mistake in the book going self-employed, not with my actual bookkeeping, but, obviously mistakes are made and you learn on the job to a certain extent, but with running a business. And I was like, this is a roller coaster. And I would say that's probably the main reason people give up on businesses, because it's so hard. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And as a mum, it's about taking your business seriously. And there's so much else involved. And then, so I helped my husband now run a limited company. So we have a limited company that I do all the accounts, bookkeeping, admin for. I help my son run his international now company. And I do still do bookkeeping for a couple of clients that I don't want to let go of. But now I'm more sort of business coaching. And that's why when Tiffany approached me, it was just perfect because it combines my bookkeeping knowledge that I always have to keep up to date with, and my business coaching, and the support in the group just flew out at me, and it was lovely. The minute I was in that group, I really wanted to be a part of it. So here I am. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I love what you said, because you kind of transitioned into a life coaching business from having your bookkeeping business, because one of the things that we all realize when you have a business that you have to work on your mindset so much all the time. And, we help our students in the academy do that. And we're really, really lucky to have you, because not only do you have the experience of growing a bookkeeping business and help with all the technical aspects,
yeah,
got that experience working on your mindset, and that is the most powerful part of it all. So they are super lucky to have you in there.
Well, and do you know what I think is great is also the level of content actually in the course as well takes you through the logical steps. So specifically to the UK with regards to setting up your bookkeeping business and your HMRC requirements and agent requirements. And when you do that on your own, because I did, it was so overwhelming and you don't know what to do. I'm no doubt that IRS website is exactly the same as the HMRC one in the UK. It's a rabbit hole. You click on things, you lose yourself. And it was so overwhelming. I didn't know if I was doing it right. I didn't know if I was doing the right steps. So I've been really able to give to this academy the combination of that, the logical steps, and then the backup to say, yeah, it's cool, you're doing it right. This step, then this step. Don't worry, it'll all come through in time. And hopefully to prevent a bit of that overwhelm. Because there is so much going on, isn't there, when you first start the business with, you're learning your bookkeeping, you're learning QuickBooks, but you've also got all that legal stuff. And as probably bookkeepers, obviously, I know you're an accountant, CPA, we're very want to cross the dots and, dot the I's and cross the T's sort of thing. And so we're very that way inclined to make sure everything's right.
Yes. No, I love that. If you are perfectionistic type of
we've got that real logical, organised brains that like to see everything in order. And that's what makes us great at what we do.
Yeah.
That comes with that, am I doing it right? And oh my goodness, everyone seems to have done that so much quicker than I've done that. And so it's a combination of that, which, really appeals and really why I went through to the coaching as well, because I think the mindset support in the group is literally second to none. I've never seen anything this level anywhere.
Awesome. I love that.
It's just the mentors and like knowing what I know also to a certain extent the back end and how everybody's supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that network that you're not going to get elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You said so many really, really important things there. I want to rewind back to the part where you're kind of talking about overwhelm and thinking about all the different things that you have to do. And there's so many things that, flat out, all of this stuff can be learned on your own, right? The academy isn't huge secret and you can't learn it if you're not in the academy. But what the academy does is we take that level of overwhelm down so many notches because you've got support, you have accountability, you have someone that's been through it all that can help you streamline. And that way you don't get in that trap of wanting to be perfect and then it holding you back and you never reach your goals because you're trying to make everything perfect.
Yeah. And trying to do it all at the same time.
Yes.
And I think that's what
yourself.
Yeah. And I think from the UK coaching calls that I do, I think that becomes really clear. We're very logical. We're like, okay, chill, calm down just a bit. What's your next step? Let's just focus on that next step, because you not only get that, you get all the other bookkeepers in your networking groups and on Facebook and things telling everybody what they're doing as well. And then you think, oh, maybe I should be doing that. And it's all about us supporting each other, all of us on our paths, on our paths, our bookkeeping business paths. No, okay, keep on your path. You're doing great. And like you said, it's the support. Just now I was in the group, the academy group, and I think someone's posted, oh my goodness, I've got my first client. What do I do? I'm literally scared stiff. And that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Because you are. The first time you get a client, you're like, I've literally spent how many hours in that learning QuickBooks. I know bookkeeping, I know but all of a sudden I've got my first client and I can't remember any of it.
Right, exactly.
My mind has gone blank. And it's that support, it's that place you can go and say that. Literally just go there and scream and I don't know what I'm doing. I should know what I'm doing, but I don't. And be like, okay, that's fine. Jump on the call, jump on one of the support calls, schedule a breakout, and we'll get through it together. And it's a real sense of togetherness that, like I say, that I think you need, that I honestly think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm with you and because, we're in this particular live. If I'd have had you guys, I would not have given up my bookkeeping business, because the minute I got in this group, I was like, oh my goodness, I want to set up my bookkeeping business again.
Right? You want to do it again. Yeah.
And I'm still thinking, oh, my qualifications are still live. Like, should I do it? Like, no, you've got enough on lease now. But, you know, and that's it, isn't it? It's like, it's such a group environment. And I think if I'd had this group, I think I'd have gone from strength to strength. And there's so much you can learn from each other. And let's not go, you know, we must go back to the actual technical and practical support. Like you say, I mean, like I said, I think a lot of the value in this group is the mindset, is the support, you know, is that real group effort. We're in this together, we're cheerleading each other, you're not alone. But there's so much practical knowledge within the group, whether that's UK based, US based, Canada based. Double entry bookkeeping, T accounts, they're the same. Okay, our profit and loss accounts, that might look slightly different. They've got the same headings, they're just in different orders. You know, and I know because obviously we've tailored the US, you know, we've done a UK version of the US course.
Yep.
And we're all like, that is still exactly the same. It's just looks slightly different. And obviously then you get into the realms of taxation. And, you know, and that as bookkeepers, we don't really get involved with as much anyway. So I think I was surprised with the similarities between UK and US, because QuickBooks virtually works exactly the same. You know, and I love QuickBooks as well, actually. So, and I know you do too. I love QuickBooks as well. So I use it every day. And yeah, so there's always somebody here, me included, particularly if it's a UK specific question. I just want to help them, everybody, whoever joins, get their businesses up and running and enjoy it.
Yes.
You know, focus on their why and keep them on their why.
Right.
Which, you know, as working mums, it's very hard to stick to our whys because we feel we're doing something for ourselves, which you've never done before. We're like, oh my goodness, can I really do this for me? And you're like, you're actually doing it for your family as well. But I get that as well. And obviously you must have, you know, putting your time and effort into something you really want to do. You almost feel guilty. And I think that's
happens sometimes.
Yeah, with my business coaching and with a client I had yesterday, who's setting up her business, and she can't take herself seriously. So she's like, I almost feel guilty paying money for a business coach. I'm like, why? You know, because this means I'm taking it seriously. I said, that's good. This is a great step. You investing into a coach, and that is it shows a commitment. It shows that you're taking yourself seriously. And until you do that, no one else will, obviously. So, you know,
I love that.
Yeah. Level of taking yourself seriously, and you're doing it for you, but let's focus on your big why and get you where you want to be. You know.
That's great. I want to talk a little bit more too about what you said about how if you would have had this kind of support, you would have kept your business. And that is such a huge thing that you said there, because that's the same thing with me. If I didn't have support either when I started, and I got to a level in my business that I didn't know what to do next. And that's why I ended up selling my business as well, because I didn't have support. I didn't have a coach, and I didn't know how to maximize and optimize my business. And you do, over different stages, you do hit what they call break points in your business, where it's like a different level. You kind of go up to a different level. And we have now created a next level program for our students. So if they want to start building a team and they want to learn how to structure their company so they can eventually hit 7 figures, we guide you all the way through that process now.
I mean, that's giving me goosebumps, to be honest, because I know, because obviously I've seen a couple of and people are having crazy results in their group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like,
I mean, it's blowing me away. I'm like, really? Like, I need to get back on this bandwagon. But you know, but yes, it is hitting those. I think with me, it was the self-doubt as well. You know, you're networking, and in the UK, obviously, there's a lot of networking that's very formal. You know, you've got accountants there, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, they're an accountant. I'm just a bookkeeper, and I don't think I realised my worth. I really think, and that was one of the big things, because I'm not being funny. My husband doesn't have a clue what I do, still doesn't have a clue. Half of my family don't have a clue what I do. You know, still now, you know, I have my family saying, you're still taking on clients then? I thought, you know, so it was realizing my self-worth, and I struggled to do that on my own. So I easily looked at accountants and thinking, oh my goodness, they can just do it. You know, maybe I should step away. Maybe what have I got to offer compared to? And now, I like, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I've grown in confidence since. And it's a big thing, isn't it? You go self-employed after possibly being employed for many, many years, being a mum, in your own bubbles for many, many, and all of a sudden you're in this big wide world again, trying to prove yourself, and your harshest critic is yourself, and you're fighting against that. So I think it was the self-worth and self-doubt that really got me.
That's what I always tell students. Warning, there is a side effect to this. You're going to become a new version of yourself.
Exactly. Who is that? And this is the thing, is it's about taking yourself seriously, taking yourself as a businesswoman seriously.
Yes.
You know, aside from then you have to take that businesswoman hat off and go and do your tea, go and do the kids' tea, or take football, netball, whatever, you need to do. And it's about, in those pockets of time, seeing yourself as that businesswoman, that worthy, valuable businesswoman that deserves to be paid well for what she does.
Absolutely. And but the beauty of that too is you can also mesh that person together. It doesn't have to be two separate personas anymore. If you want to wear the businesswoman hat while your kids are sitting right next to you,
that's true.
You can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the amount of times that, funny enough, like the lives come on, I'm like, oh, I'm cooking dinner. That's great. I'm going to put that on while I'm cooking dinner and things. And you grab little bits and you grab little nuggets. Yeah. So it is, it is hybrid, isn't it? I suppose it is a hybrid. And I think if I'd have had the support of the group, I most definitely would have carried on pushing forwards, despite the odd little blip. It's hard, isn't it, sometimes to get over the blip. And I think, it would have increased my chances of more success greatly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Sally said, yes, the HMRC is so confusing. And she said, I have a list somewhere, but I think I've subconsciously hidden it for the moment. I think what she meant was that she's got a list of things that she knows she needs to do to take the next step. And that's what happens. Everyone, when you are trying to do it alone and by yourself, it's so easy to put it on the back burner or ignore it, so making that investment and then being around all of these people that are going to push you to get your return, to grow your business is such a strong, important factor for success.
Yeah. And I mean, and plus sort of in the course that we have the logical process for all that. So your lists, we have the step-by-step process of what to do and when. And, obviously we can't go into all of that right now because, like you say, HMRC is a rabbit hole, and it's so much easier. So for me, I love doing websites. So it's so much easier for me to put that list away, like you say, hide it somewhere and think, I'm going to play around with my website and make my website look pretty again. Right. Because I'm like, no, I can't deal with that. But all I would say is it's just take one step at a time, click on one thing on HMRC, have a look at that, deal with that one thing at a time, because you do get there. And just phone them as well. I think what I got blown away, and what I would really advise, is people see the tax office, HMRC, IRS, as not the baddies as such, but scary people. And you would be amazed that when you phone as a bookkeeper, as a professional, or even a wannabe, however you class yourself at the moment, because you're training, you're learning, they're really lovely to talk to. When I first set up VAT, so our sales tax, so when I first set up VAT, I made so many mistakes, and I just kept phoning them. I was like, look, I'm sorry, you've probably got me on your record a lot at the moment, but can you just run through how? And I learned so much, but obviously it took the time, and it caused me a bit of worry because I've made certain mistakes. Luckily, it was on our limited company account, so that was sort of my practice account type thing. But they're much more open than you think, and it's much more easier going than you think. Everything can be fixed. It's okay. They're not just going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. So it would be just a case of, step at a time. And if you're unsure, call the helpline. There's a helpline for bookkeepers and professional self-employed people and phone them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really is. But I would suggest with your little list, you're going to have to get it out and tick just one thing off at a time. Just, you know, maybe sit down and say, what's that? Eat your frog. So maybe Monday morning, maybe that's a Monday morning job to get it done and off your mind for the rest of the week then.
Yeah. Great point. I mean, if there's something that you know you're consciously or subconsciously putting it off, make that the first thing that you do.
Yeah, most definitely, because it holds you back.
Yeah.
From applying yourself to every other job. And I think that's what, so our UK coach calls are on a Monday morning, and I think that's what we really focus on is like, let's get your list together for the week.
Yeah, what's important and what's not.
Exactly, what's important and what's not. And also I like them to leave the coaching call with, what are you going to do directly after this call?
Ooh, yes.
You know, to get the ball rolling, because otherwise then you'll sit there again with the list and with all that information on the coaching call and like, oh, I don't know where to start. It just seems like too much. So it's about getting those little steps down and setting up your Monday morning right and getting off to that great flying start on a Monday morning. I like to do that.
Yeah. And that to-do list. So whenever you start a business, your to-do list becomes really long, and it's really hard to know what is important and what's not. Everything feels important. So having someone to help you determine, no, that's not the right thing to focus on. That is completely invaluable.
Yeah. And get like you said, get your priorities right, just your time management, you know, because you are doing a lot, you're taking on so much, and also having the time for yourself, the space to clear your head and talk things through, and just get that little space in your head, because, you know, overwhelm is a big thing, and it's really important to create space, physical and mental space for yourself in order to process everything. And I think some of the mindset calls, and obviously there's the EFT, it's EFT, isn't it, that you provide in the course, which, you know, I know everyone really, really benefits from,
absolutely.
You know, because that's another level. But yeah, there's lots of practicalities of setting up a UK bookkeeping business that we do go through literally step by step in the course. I know there's a couple of questions that come up at the beginning that people posted on this comments about insurance and about AAT. Which is accounting. So it's accounting associates technician. So it's like the sort of qualifications. Insurance wise, so personally, I've always gone with either Towergate or Markel. So that's Towergate Insurance or Markel Insurance. I've always found them to be quite cheap to be honest, and it's professional indemnity insurance. I don't know what you call it in the US. There's something different. I can remember people referring to it, but it's professional indemnity insurance that you most definitely need. You don't need employer's liability unless you're an employer, unless you're going to employ people, and public liability is much more if they're going to come, if you have an office space that they're going to come to. But professional indemnity is something you need to get in place straight away. With regards to AAT qualifications, I am qualified up to level 3. The course provides a very, very good base understanding of bookkeeping and QuickBooks. And that is most definitely enough for you not to want to run for the hills when you get your first client. It really is. I liked the AAT learning structure. You can do it at your own pace. You just book and pay for your exams as and when you do them. And it did help cement mine. And that's up to level 3. And that enabled me to get a license in one of the regulated, like certified bodies. Which was the IAB, the Institute Association of Bookkeepers. And that enabled me to get licensed. That was more to do with the tax, because I want to do self-employment returns and things like that. And you do need anti-money laundering. So there's certain legalities and regulations in the UK that we need in order to submit tax returns on behalf of people.
So Lisa, let's say somebody in the UK wants to join the academy, and they need to hit a certain level of income. Can they do that before they do these certifications, if they choose to do the certifications? What is your thought on that?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, there is I think there's, like I say, there's enough knowledge within the course and within the group and bookkeepers. We've got an accountant, we've got a UK-based accountant that's happy to support us and to support queries that we can directly contact. Any of you guys can directly contact, and that for any questions you have, most definitely. I wouldn't say that the qualifications are 100% needed. The reason because I'd done that before I even set up my business, it was just something I really enjoyed doing, and I love numbers, and almost my business come after I'd done the qualification, which I know sounds crazy, but the business I was in, I could have used it in my work. So that come before my business. There's also this thing called anti-money laundering license. You can get that. You can apply directly through HMRC without the qualifications. Okay, so that's something bookkeepers must have if you are going to charge for services. Bear in mind, if you're doing to learn on the job, if you're taking on a couple of voluntary books, you do not have to have this license. It's only if you're getting paid to provide bookkeeping services.
Specific.
Yeah, so specifically, you do not have to have the qualifications. You can apply directly through HMRC, and that takes around about 28 days. And again, the whole process is all in the course, and it's quite, if you look on the gov.uk website, it will take you through. Like I say, it's another rabbit hole, but there is step-by-step guidance in the course as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So Eileen had a question, and I've answered this quite a bit, but I'm curious what your perspective is after being in it for the last year and coaching. So she says, what makes the support in the Piece of Cake support group different than other support groups, in your opinion?
It's the cheer. So the first thing was the cheerleading, the cheerleading, as everybody has got each other's back. Everyone wants each other to do well, and even those that aren't doing so well, post in the group, they're feeling rubbish because they're seeing people that it's the openness, the honesty. And I said to you before we come on this call, everyone is just themselves. There is no big I ams. There's no, there's lots of showing off, which is in a good way. It's a celebrating wins. It's not, there's no pretentiousness. Everyone's just themselves, and everyone's on their own paths, but they're coming together on the journey. They're sort of holding each other's hands on each other's, we're all on our individual paths, but everyone comes together. So it's I can't say the word camaraderie, that sort of
camaraderie. Yeah.
There's that. And there's the level. And I'm not just saying, the level of bloody success. Oh my God, it really, really is. And it's seeing people that maybe might have posted a couple of months ago saying, oh, I'm really struggling. Why is everyone else, everyone else seems to be getting clients, and I'm struggling to even get my first 1 or 2 clients. And then a couple of months later, they've got their first client, and then another one, and then another one. And we're with
that snowball effect.
The way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think the snowball effect starts because of the collective energy. It might be slightly woo-woo, I don't know. The collective energy of the group is something that takes you forward. And I've not had that in any other networking group, any other support group that I've been in.
Yeah, who you surround yourself really helps with your success as well. So
especially
if you don't have a lot of support at home or positive energy or positive people around you, it's especially helpful.
Yeah, most definitely. And I said, like I said, that's one of my things was, my husband, they want to be supportive. Of course they do. But, there's only so much support they can do. But somebody else that's going through the same and that isn't afraid to voice their worries, their dips, their lows, as well as their highs, there's power in that. And there's that sort of when you can't take those steps yourself, you've got someone dragging you to take those steps, because there's other people in the group that are a bit further forward in their journey than you, and they've been there, and they're not just going to look at you and say, oh well. They are literally going to take your hand and drag you to that next, like you say, over that next point that you need to be. I think it's just friends. Everyone's just friends.
Yes, I know. I love
relationships. It's a proper group of relationships, as opposed to just a group of people trying to get somewhere on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope
absolutely.
yeah.
When you're needing advice too, it's really important to ask people that are where you want to go. So even though your spouse is super supportive, asking them advice might not be the best person to go to because they aren't where you want to go with your business, your goals. But in the support group and in the academy, you've got all of these people that are a few steps ahead of you that they're the perfect people to ask for advice for because they're where you want to be.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think another thing that's lovely is also, so these people that I've seen in the group that have been in the group, you know, almost a year, they're still asking questions about different clients' books because every client's books is different. So you're never going to know everything. And I think that gives you almost a sense of freedom to allow you to ask your questions. But everyone is constantly learning. And the amount of practical and bookkeeping support in the group, I think that's really, really good. They're very specific questions on journaling and different actual specific journal entries or transactions. It's from literally from a classification of a transaction to I'm really not feeling it, or really not feeling like I'm on a real downer. I can't sort of see the light at the moment. There's that scope. There's such a wide scope of support.
Yeah.
That you see lots of people asking for, which enables you to then ask for it. Like I say, it's the openness. So it makes you feel comfortable to share what you need to and to ask for the support. Because I think that's sometimes what we don't do is, like you said, we try to do it all on our own. And this group makes you feel comfortable enough to not need to do it on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So Katie asked, does everyone need to start with an LLC? So an LLC, I believe, is just US terminology. And we recommend that because you're protected from a liability standpoint. But when you enroll in the academy, we hook you up with someone that can give you legal advice and actually let you know which one that you should go with for US people. So do you want to talk a little bit about?
So the LLC, we've got limited company or self-employment, basically. So a lot of bookkeepers are self-employed. Yes, that there is not the protection of the liability, the limited liability protection of the limited company. But you have got your insurance, which protects you to a certain extent for professional indemnity, and it's a lot easier to set up. So self-employment is the easiest, the cheapest, and the simplest way to set up your bookkeeping business. Limited company is slightly more involved. It needs more accounts. You have to register twice. You register for Companies House as well as with HMRC. As a bookkeeper myself, I was self-employed. But I know many bookkeepers I work with have limited companies for the separate legal identity. So therefore the protection you have, with regards to liability. Personally, I probably would suggest just starting off as self-employed and then seeing where you go and getting advice possibly from our accountant. We also have we have links. The academy, the UK-based version of the academy, has links with an insolvency practice, which sounds really random, but they offer really great legal advice as well around around legal structures and that as well. So we've also got people you can go to, accountants, etc., for advice on your business. But in the UK, the majority of bookkeepers are, I would say, self-employed.
Awesome. Okay. So Cindy says, I love this. And I'll share my opinion, and Lisa, you can share yours. Cindy says, mindset is my biggest hurdle. I have tons of self-doubt, even though I was Dean's List, have taken accounting classes, and have been self-employed. Why is that? So my thought is that, especially if you have an accounting background, you like information, you like order, you like processes, and when you do it by yourself, you are alone and you're venturing into the unknown, and we don't like to not know something.
Yes.
when you start your business, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And that's what's great about the Academy, because you don't have to go it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn to build on that skill of like doing things that you're not familiar with doing. So that's why a lot of people, in my opinion, are held back because of their mindset, because they're afraid of what they don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the competence curve, isn't it? You get to that sort of conscious incompetence. When you start delving into things, you become conscious of what you don't know. Whereas before you didn't know what you don't know. And now you're sort of learning that you don't. And I think that touches a little bit on imposter syndrome as well. And that, what I always say, you cannot feel that you are an imposter if you are an actual imposter. Because so you could not feel, and with your self-doubt, the reason you're doubting yourself is because you're holding yourself up to such great standards, which means you're always going to do a great job because of the standards that you hold for yourself. And it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. Again, going back to my client of yesterday, actually, she's like, oh, I think I might do another training course. And I'm like, right, that training course, yeah, it's always great to bring on new knowledge. Like you say, we're always learning. However, that is not the issue. You know, it doesn't matter how much theoretical knowledge, qualifications, how much you actually know until you get that particular client. Like you say, you don't know what you need to learn. And also you learn by doing. It's the learning by doing is where your greatest growth comes. And that's what hopefully we help you do, is push past that self-doubt, and we support you, knowing that you've got this team of people there that support you with your first client and ongoing. But obviously, particularly with your first client, helps you to sort of push through that self-doubt and think, I know enough. You know, I most definitely know more than what this person is, you know, who's coming to me for what, you know, for work, who's this potential client knows, because they're coming to me. I already know more than they know. You know, I'm already in at that position of authority. And unfortunately, you've just got to push through that, haven't you? And just take that step into the unknown, because I know how hard it is. I know we want to know it all.
And in the course of doing this, you know, lots of different feelings come up, and it's like human nature that you just listen to those feelings. Well, sometimes those feelings hold you back, and you don't even realize that they're the wrong feelings to listen to, because, you know, back in the day, that was what we used to keep ourselves safe, you know, from like getting attacked by wild animals, you know what I mean?
Don't do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like second nature to listen to that. But you need to have someone that tells you your feelings are valid, but they're the wrong thing to listen to right now.
Most definitely. You know, there's that saying, is that just because you believe something to be true, it doesn't mean it necessarily is. It might have been a while back, but it isn't now. And those feelings are complete again. And I think sometimes when it's normalizing, because you hear other people in the group and they're talking about their self-doubt, when it becomes a normal thing, you think, oh, okay, that's not, that feeling of self-doubt isn't telling me to not do it. That feeling of self-doubt is just me pushing through my comfort zone. That's me taking that next step. Yeah. And that's a good thing. I always, you know, once you start with that little bit of self-doubt, you think, oh, that's me pushing, I'm growing here. So it's about that, recognizing that feeling, but looking at it maybe possibly a different way. And saying, this is my opportunity again to push forward. That's why I'm feeling it, because I'm pushing my comfort zone. You know, just like lots of other people are doing in the group. You know, I know this is normal. This isn't like something that only I've got, that is a massive sign telling me to stop. It's in fact a sign to say, keep going, you're doing fantastic. Like, you are growing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So Sally said, I've already bought the DIY course. Is there a way I can add on the Academy? So it made me think, I'm going to do something special for all of you.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yes. So normally the DIY courses are an add-on, like a free thing that you get when you enroll in the Academy for the support and the coaching. But for anyone in the UK that wants to enroll in the Academy before I go live next Tuesday, I will take off, or I will apply anything you paid for the DIY courses to your Academy investment. So comment below if you want us to reach out to you. How about enroll me below.
Yes, enroll me. Yeah. I want in.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, we want to see you. We want, it's such an exciting time, I think, for the UK students, because we are growing. We can use all your guys' experience and your get up and go, and we're sort of at the forefront of, I think, this real big burst of potential. Because isn't it lovely to be at the start of something as well, really, and really grow it and be part of something that's really growing, that's evolving. I mean, the Academy is anyway. I mean, the Academy is constantly growing. It's constantly adding new things. You're constantly adding new support mechanisms. Something will come up. Like, you'll notice something that's repeatedly coming up, like as a barrier, as a challenge, or as a learning opportunity. And you're like, right, okay, that's another thing we're adding to the course.
Yeah.
Because it's that, where was it? Ages ago, I think it was on one comment, and one of the students said to somebody else, they said about, how, how do you help us if our business is failing? And somebody put, they won't let you fail. And that was again, that gave me goosebumps, because it's so true. Because anything that pops up, and you think, as the UK students as well, anything that pops up, we are here to work on it and to support you through that. And then that forms more of the UK course and the UK support mechanism and the provision for the UK students. Yeah. And it's such an exciting time, because we are literally growing. And I'm really excited to see where it takes everybody. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's Ella maybe said FCC, but not practice for years. How should I start, and what do I need to get going? I'm not familiar with FCC. Is that?
No. Is that financial conduct charter? I'm not too sure what that is.
Yeah, let us know. She also said familiar with pro and bookkeeping, need more VAT lessons.
Oh, okay. So VAT, and now Making Tax Digital is a really great way that UK bookkeepers can make money and can a really great marketing opportunity at the moment, because the legal requirements for VAT and going digitally and doing VAT digitally have just literally changed, which means a lot more people need to do VAT digitally. And eventually, in the next couple of years, everybody will have to submit their tax returns digitally. So this is a very good chance for you to become an authority as a UK student, to become an authority of making tax digital. With regards to the VAT element, if you're on Quickbooks, it is really easy to learn, to set up and to do. It literally takes a matter of minutes. I done one with a client the other night and must have taken me 10 minutes. That was it, to do a whole VAT return. So Quickbooks is really good. We have a VAT section in the course, which helps you talk you through the VAT. Obviously, it's just the basis of VATs. It could be a minefield if you're doing importing and exporting, and you'd need further knowledge on that. But that's areas that you can delve into. That's fine. But with regards to the bookkeeping and VAT, there's a lot in the course that will enable you to do VAT and to market yourself as an MTD, so Making Tax Digital professional, through Quickbooks. It is literally a small little test. So there's some training in Quickbooks. So you have the training in the course, which is the VAT element, explaining a bit about VAT and how to set up as a VAT agent, etc. Then on Quickbooks, as a pro advisor, you get a free course as well on Making Tax Digital, and you get a nice little certificate afterwards that you can put on everything. And also, when you're marketing through Quickbooks, you can market yourself as a Making Tax Digital professional, which I think is going to be, if you've got to get in now, because I think this is really going to open the doors for UK bookkeepers to be specialists in that area, and because no one is going to want to do it themselves, particularly not the people like builders and, you know, people that just love their trades, tradesmen and that are crying out for people to do VAT.
Another really awesome value add then.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really, that is a massive thing at the moment, really is big.
Yeah. So there you go, Ella. How would you like to learn everything you need to know about the VAT in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Then you can move on to other stuff that generates you more money.
And it is so, I mean, it's so impressive when you do it. And, my client was like, well, it's already done. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you how easy that was, but once you've got all your things set up, it's really easy. HMRC are making it as easy as possible as well. And like I said, it's an area that we can excel in as bookkeeping professionals.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Cindy said, oh my God, that is so me.
I'm not sure whether I've stuck on. I'm not sure whether I'm stuck, so I'm going to talk. Can anyone hear me? Oh, Tiffany's gone. Can anyone hear me? Because I can talk about the licenses. I've done the first bit of QBO and passed the exam. Fantastic. Yeah. You're back now. Great. Sorry, did I go? Oh, no, Tiffany's lost power. So let me just listen to her, what she's saying. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to, so Sally, you did a bit of QBO exam. Fantastic. I would with the QBO. Well, Tiffany's coming back, great. I would do the QBO advanced if you can, because it's all free. It's fantastic. Look, and the support that the QBO UK, the UK Pro Advisor. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat as well. I'm not very good at doing all that. I'm much better on one-to-one. So the UK QuickBooks Pro Advisor, really great training opportunities. You get certificates, you get your little logos and things. So really, I would use QBO as much as you can to build your knowledge and to build your confidence. So that's a QBO. Do keep going, Sally. And I'm here, I use QuickBooks every day. And I'm here, I'm in the group. And, I'm pretty good at QuickBooks. I've been using it for many, many years and I love it. So, so there's lots of workarounds, different things that I'm happy to share. Are there any licenses required to run a bookkeeping company in the UK? Like I said earlier, you must, if you're going to charge for bookkeeping services, you must have an anti-money laundering license. Now, you can get this through I'm just saying, yeah, Tiffany's still coming back. So you can get this through HMRC themselves if you do not have the qualifications. If you do have the qualifications, up to level 3, you can do a money laundering license through your certified body. So whether that's the AAT, the ICB or the IAB, if you become a member there and you get your practicing license through them, they cover you for anti-money laundering license. And that's a lot easier to do, but that does depend on whether you've got bookkeeping qualifications. Some of those, in particular the IAB, don't necessarily need your qualifications if you've been working in bookkeeping for many, many years. So yeah, I'm just so yes, so anti-money laundering is a legal requirement. That's only once you start charging for bookkeeping services. So if you want to practice and do a couple of voluntary books for people voluntary, you do not need the license. And it's all to do, it's a bit complicated to set up, but once it's set up, it's all to do with due diligence and making sure the clients that you're working for are actually who they say they are and are, paying their taxes and things like that. So that's that. Hopefully that's helped with the licenses. If you are qualified, I did put down, like I said, I went with the IAB. And the reason I went with the IAB is because I found them the easiest to work with, and their license allows you to do a wider scope of things, which includes self-assessment tax returns. So look into all of them. I found the ICB the most restrictive, and needing more and more qualifications. You never seem to quite have enough qualifications. The AAT license you cannot do self-assessment returns on, but the IAB you can. So that's licensing through a professional body. Eileen's, but we've just added the UK specific course in the academy. You can also get Zoom calls with Lisa. Great, yes, Zoom calls with me. That's my next step. I'm doing this as my health expert, so I need something to work around. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, advance is on my list. Yeah, fantastic. So I would advise that you do the cube. I don't know about you, Tiffany, but like I said, I was saying I make the most of all the QuickBooks training. No, we do our recertification that you have to recertify every year. You know, even I just recertified again for the year, and you know, I learned something that I took into my limited company, my motorbike garage that I run with my husband, because the training they provide is really, really good. So carry on doing the advance and fit it around what works for you, and you know, when you're in that right mindset space. My mum pays me for her QuickBooks subscription. Yeah. Okay. So my mum pays me for a QuickBooks subscription as it's cheaper through me. Do I need the license now? Personally, I would say I would apply. Like I said, you can apply directly through HMRC on gov.uk. If you Google anti-money laundering license, I really think it would never be too early to get that, because it does take 28 days. And it's an easy application form, but it just takes a lot of to-ing and fro-ing. So I would get going on that. I think you're fine for now. Like you say, your QuickBooks subscription is much cheaper through you. I wouldn't worry too much, but me being, again, like we're saying, the sort of bookkeeping, admin, organisational, dotting all the I's, I would, if I was you, Sally, just start looking up on gov.uk, the licence, and just start the process from there, and you'll be covered. That'll be fine. I think that's it, Tiffany. I think that was all the questions. Hopefully
sorry, it's storming here and the power just went out, and then of course my computer wanted to update. I'm so glad that the Zoom kept going though, so this is great. I think I got cut off when I was addressing Cindy, saying that, you know, like all that mindset stuff we were talking about, like that it's so her, and she's like, you know, it's because like we know what you guys are going to go through this process, and we know what it's like. We've not only been there, but we've already helped thousands of other people go from that stage to the next stage. So we know what you're going to go through, and we know exactly how to help you past it. And our entire goal is to help you have success faster than the person before you. So that's what Lisa was saying earlier, how we're always adding stuff to the academy. It's because we want your success to be as fast as possible. So
yeah, exactly. And I've made literally every mistake in the book I make, because I was doing it on my own. And the more people we coach and the more people I coach, the quicker, like you say, we can preempt those challenges. We can preempt those barriers, and we can almost prevent certain barriers and challenges coming up. With mindset, we know exactly how you feel.
Yeah. And
we also know how good it feels to come out the other side as well, and how you can get out the other side. You know, we know how good it can feel, and we want you to get there quicker than I did, and quicker, like you're saying, quicker than the people before you did. It's a constantly evolving space to be in.
Yeah.
Is it, you know, and as you know, everything's online. I mean, even some of the US students and that, they get asked about UK bookkeeping, you know, can you do UK bookkeeping? Because there's so much demand out there for bookkeeping, that there really, really is. And it's about getting yourself out there and showing yourself you're visible. And obviously you've got to work through mindset to do that. And it's us. It's like the challenges and that you put out, Tiffany, because we know that's what you need to do. And we know it's hard, and we know it's cringy, but we also know that once you do that, once you've done it a couple of times, it gets so much easier and it pays dividends. So we know when to push you,
and
when not to push you.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
And I think that's a really big benefit of the club. I was going to say of the academy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
in the club.
yeah, it is. It's I'd say a club / a family.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
You may have answered this question on here already, but Elizabeth asked if there are finance plans to help pay for the investment in the academy. And I have to talk to my team about this for sure. But Lisa, do you know anything off the top of your head of where people can go if they want to get a small business loan or small business funding in the UK?
Yeah. I mean, I would personally say, always go to your bank first, always, because they tend to be the lower interest rates. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know with regards to I've got to be honest with regards to the finance options. I mean, there's 0% credit cards for so long. These, I don't want to get into the realms of like massive interest rates and that, but with regards to bank loans, I would say that's probably your lowest rate that you can get. And check on like Money Supermarket and things, because there's so many deals going on, particularly at the moment. And don't be, I would say, I'm going to touch a little bit on this because, again, we know, how it's going to come. Don't be too scared to make the investment. I know it's really scary. Again, we know, I know it's really scary. But it's, A, you're going to get it back tenfold, and B, it's a real... it's a commitment. It's a sign of commitment. It's a sign of self-belief. It's a sign of taking yourself seriously. It's so much more than just paying for something when you make an investment in yourself. And it gives you that push. And I've got to really admit that probably one of my sticking points was the fact that when I first went self-employed, I didn't have much skin in the game. Does that make sense? So when things got tough, it was so easy for me to think, oh, I'm just going to give up.
Yeah.
But when you've got skin in the game, when you've made that investment to yourself, you deserve it. If this is what you want to do, you deserve to make this investment in yourself. Yeah. So, going back to that question, I can't answer it that well, unfortunately, but I would definitely say bank loans. I would definitely have a look on Money Supermarket. Always check your APRs, obviously. And there's startup loans. When you're starting a business, there's lots of, have a look at FSB, which is Federation of Small Businesses, and those small business people that support small businesses. I mean, I don't know how old everybody is, but there's Prince's Trust, which if you're very young, obviously compared to me, you're very young there. But there's lots of startup loans and startup that are very low interest rates and that as well, and obviously and therefore much easier to get. So I would bank, Money Supermarket, and have a look at startup loans as well, because it doesn't necessarily have to be your bank. It could, if you get a startup loan for someone, it could then offer you the free business banking for a year as well. If it's
awesome. Yeah,
I've not got my personal bank and my business banks are not the same banks.
Yeah. And if you do end up getting something that has a high interest, the other thing to note with that too is that as long as it doesn't have a prepayment penalty, you can pay that loan off super fast being in the academy, and then you won't actually have to pay much of that interest at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. It's what you make it. Yeah. It's really what you make it. And I almost sometimes think the investment makes you make more of it. And like you say, it's up to you when you pay it off. And our aim is for you to pay that off as quickly as possible. That's why we do everything we do, to get you up and running as quickly as possible. Like going back to what you were saying about every time sort of we get something new into the academy, it enables you to make that transition slightly quicker.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Let's see. So did you address Elizabeth's question about, we learn by doing, but I know nothing. How can I start doing at this stage? So QuickBooks has a test client. So you can play around as much as you like on a QuickBooks test client to learn QuickBooks.
there's nothing wrong with helping someone out, obviously, on their books, as long as they know that you're learning. I mean, I must admit, I learned a lot by the doing on, like I said, my own company accounts. And yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, really, like most 90% of our students that come into the academy know nothing about or QuickBooks or marketing or how to find clients and stuff like that. So that's how we help support you guys, by learning while you're doing it versus trying to learn everything there is to know before you do it, because that's impossible.
You're not going to be able to do that. It is, you do learn by doing, so it is. Yeah. And that's where we help, like you say, with those first clients, with the self-doubt, like just get yourself out there, and because and we know how scary that's going to be when you get your first client. You're like, actually, I don't know. You think you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. I think a lot, once you're on the course, there is so much content on there. There is no way that you are going to be left not knowing. Right. There's always some way that you can go in the group, whether it's in the support group, just posting, whether it's in the coursework. I mean, the coursework is mega, there is so much in there, and there's always someone there that's done that, as always. It could be me, it could be another one of the UK students, it could be another one of the US students, because a lot of the time there's such generic questions, and you're only going to need to be asked it once and not know it once, and then you know it. And then the next person that asks you will know that, and then you'll be in the position of helping somebody else. So, yeah, you just got to take the step. And we're all here to help you. We're all here to help you.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a couple more questions I want to address on here, but I want to make sure you're good on time, Lisa.
I'm good. I've got probably till about 20 past, because then I'm playing tennis, which is a very English thing, but I have a tennis.
Great.
Tennis
Okay. Well, I wanted to address Sally's comment on here, because she said that, this is the next step. She's going to do this because she says her health is crap. So she needs something that's going to work around her. Yeah. And the other thing that I really want to point out, guys, is when you take this step and you start making more money than you could make working for someone else, you have the funds to invest in your health. I got to tell you what I did yesterday. I had a meeting with this guy. His name is Gary Brucka. He works with the 10X Health Systems, and I'm kind of getting all involved with Grant Cardone's, entire thing. Yeah. And he was literally last week over with Kim Kardashian and her company, helping her with the same stuff that he's helping me with. And I was able to have an hour-long meeting with him, and he basically told me everything about my health and gave me this whole report of what I need to do moving forward to be at optimal health and like superhuman condition. Okay. So
I need that. I want that.
Yes. I'm going to be sharing all this stuff with you guys soon. But also, I mean, just what I want to say about that is, like, when you start a business, you have no ceiling on what you can earn. So if you want to take some of those earnings and invest it in your health and your family's health, you have the ability to do that. So.
Yeah, most definitely. And then the options and the time, it works around you. You can work it around you. It doesn't matter when you're doing somebody's bookkeeping. You'll have deadlines, of course, but when you do the work to reach those deadlines is up to you. Your time is your own. And I remember, I think once you, Tiffany, saying that, I don't think you set an alarm, do you, every morning? Or is it?
Right.
Did you say that? Yeah. And that was one of my goals I want to get to, in my personal business is you've got school kids, so there's a certain level of, flexibility that you're not going to have. However, I want to get to that stage. Yeah. I want to get to that stage where I haven't got an alarm, and I don't, and I think that's it with regards health issues can impact literally everything. So we know how important it is to work with your health issues, but then when you're focusing on other things as well, and you've got your why and you've got your path going forward, you've got the time to do it, you'll find the energy because you're working with yourself. It's all about working with yourself. And that's why going self-employed is so good. And this particular work is so good because, like you say, they don't need to know when you've done their books. They just need to know that it's going to be done by the deadline. And you can work with yourself. And as you work with yourself, you lighten up. It's a lot, to do with mental health as opposed to physical health. And me being a healthy lifestyle coach background as well, obviously I'm very big on, as a business owner, running a business that's healthy, not only for your clients, but for you as well, that works with you, that works with, your routines, anything. So it's definitely a perfect opportunity to work on yourself as well as your business. And like you say, once you're earning, all this money, you got, obviously we're lucky in the UK when we've got NHS, but private healthcare is second to none here. We all want private healthcare if we can get it, and you'll be able to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Sally says that she's got multiple chronic conditions that she needs to work on. And she attempted to study accounting years ago, but the college wasn't able to help her facilitate with her needs, but she loves it. And this came into her mind, and then she found us, and now the idea is growing. So nothing's a coincidence, Sally, you're here for a reason. So
most definitely opportunities. If you set that intention, your opportunities will come, the possibilities will come, it will all open up for you. And when you take notice of those opportunities and run with them, it just sort of unfolds. Again, this is slightly woo-woo, but it just does unfold naturally. It really does. When you start working with yourself, things start working for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, don't forget, guys, if you are in the UK and you have enrolled in any of the UK courses or our US version of the course, we'll apply it to your investment in the Academy if you enroll before next Tuesday. So comment on this so we can reach out to you and get that information. Comment, enroll me, and we'll reach out to you. And Lisa, thank you so much for being on here. I love that you are part of our group in our Academy and helping all these UK women and men to success.
Yeah, no, thank you for letting me come on here, and it's lovely chatting to you as well. And I look forward to seeing lots of UK students and us all building your futures together. I literally cannot wait.
Yes,
I really cannot wait. I'm so excited.
All right. Awesome. Me too. Okay. Well, I will let you go since you've got stuff you've got to do as well. And my family's all sitting down for lunch. So
yeah, I think my son's probably up there saying, Mum, when is dinner? But there you go. But thank you so much, Tiffany. And thank you guys for listening and all your questions. And can't wait to see some of you soon.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Have a great day.
See ya. Bye.